Hey, 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 welcome to Midday Cafe. It is Monday. Who are you? Oh, wait, whoa. Welcome to Midday Cafe this Monday, and we have a special guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
My name is Tobi Toronto. I'm the store manager of the new Microsoft store that will be going into our King of Prussia mall.
Very excited. So we're going to be talking to Tobi about job opportunities.
That is correct.
Immediate openings.
Immediate openings.
For jobs shortly, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Very excited about that. So welcome. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. I've been gone. I had my parents visiting, which is always nice. My 85-year-old dad is now rocking Windows 10.
That's awesome.
It is. And I'm excited, but a lot of stuff has been going on. So today we've got, we're going to be talking Microsoft news, like we always do. We're then going to be talking with Tobi about the Microsoft store, some jobs that might really surprise you, some great opportunities that are available. I see my turncoat producer, Steven, back there, who may be trying to jump ship on us, and as well as others. But no, this is great. There's some great job opportunities we're going to talk about. And then we're going to move into Windows 10 privacy, because you heard there's some bozos out there that are like, oh my goodness, they're watching you. It's like The Big Eye or 1984's George Orwell. And it ain't. We're going to talk about that. Or as my friend Ed Bott said the other day, he wrote a great article and he said, you need to break out the tinfoil hats. Some of you.
Yes.
So not the straw hats, the tinfoil hat. So we'll be talking Windows 10 privacy and then some other things. A couple of housekeeping items before we start. Directly below the video that you should be watching now. So if you look down, you see that down there?
I see it.
We have question and answer via Yammer, integrated Yammer. If you have not joined, I told you how earlier. I had that posted, but there's still a couple of ways. Number one, you can email me, and I'll be looking at my email every so often just to see. You can email me at mgann, M-G-A-N-N, @Microsoft.com. Request access, and I will stop everything for you to add you to that. But also, if you go directly to the link I posted up on Facebook, on Twitter, and elsewhere, you can go and request access, or just click like you're going to join it. You can go ahead and request access. Steven will be monitoring that. I'll be glancing at that as well. I saw some people. I had 3 signups this morning, as well as others. So feel free to do that and join the conversation. If you don't want to ask anything, you can just kick back, relax. But we'd love to have you a part of it. And even after the broadcast, you can still reach us there. So without further ado, Tobi, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was beautiful weather outside, and spent it with my family by the pool. It was wonderful.
By the pool? You have a pool?
We do.
And I've not been invited to this pool.
You have not been invited. No, it's a private pool. If you'd like to pay for the fund if you'd like to contribute
has enabled
to the fund,
the pool.
Right, then you
there
can
you go.
join.
So
yes.
Awesome. So you were spending it by the pool.
Yeah.
Great way to spend the weekend. Any barbecuing?
No,
outdoor?
just close with family. As Steven said, it's getting, the weather is changing, right?
Yep.
So we only have a couple more weekends for that, so we're
Awesome.
taking advantage of it.
Steven, our producer Steve in the background. What'd you do this weekend?
The weekend down at the beach.
The beach. Where did you go to the beach?
We stayed in Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City, Maryland. Did you do any island action? I heard you're an island man.
Oh yeah, we spent the weekends on the Assateague Islands.
Assateague Islands. Any particular?
That's where there's only one island.
One island.
That's where the wild horses roam.
Wild? So Steven said he goes where the wild, because Steven's pretty wild. So he likes to be where the wild horses are, right? Hanging out on the beach. Any horses come up to you while you're there?
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend.
But I have video evidence of a friend trying to ride one.
I believe you shared that with me. So Steven, if you ever see, he does have on his phone, one of his friends tried to get on one of the wild horses, which is, it's always fun to see somebody trying to ride a wild horse. There's a reason why they're called wild horses.
Right.
It didn't work.
It did not work, but it made for great video.
I heard when you said trying. The
Yes.
whole thing of trying.
It's all about the trying. So, good. Well, I'm glad to hear you both had great weekends. I had a great one as well. I did say goodbye to my parents. So I was a little sad to see them go. They were visiting from California, and like I mentioned, my 85-year-old dad is now rocking an HP Stream tablet running Windows 10.
Awesome.
He has his Nook software on there, his Overdrive for public library. He's got his first audio book. They actually went out and got a speaker to hook up, an external speaker, so him and my mom can listen to audiobooks from the local library for free on their tablet.
That's great.
So great to see. It was sad to see him go, but looking forward. And my last thing, I just want to give a shout out to my son, who is now working upstairs. Hello, son. Here in my building. First job out of college. Was very excited. And for those regular viewers, they've seen him here on air with me, as well as doing some production. So that's been about it. But you know, there's been a lot going on in the world of Microsoft productivity.
Yes.
Which means it's time for productivity news.
All right.
So let's take a look at what we got. I am very excited. Couple of things. The first one, and you want to go full screen with this one, Stephen? The Office IT Pro Deployment Script Project. So for those of you who like the script, you can come on back. I don't even know why I said go full screen. Hi, people. So at any rate, the Office IT Pro Deployment Script Project. Do you like to script?
Sure.
Scripting is just so much fun. Getting into PowerShell, looking at a black screen with white letters. It's actually very necessary. I do it. I don't like doing it, but you know, a lot of folks do. But for those of you who are more like me, there's a place for you. So Microsoft had recently posted the PowerShell for Office 365 website, where folks could go create, and it had tips and tricks, how-tos, some samples, you know, doing PowerShell for Office 365. But for folks who really wanted to get in deep, they've started a new site, and it is the Office IT Pro Deployment Script site. This is on GitHub. And so we'll have links for you after the fact to this article and to GitHub. But what it does is it is a place where your IT pros and folks who are really getting in deep with PowerShell for Office 365 are creating scripts and then adding them to the project. So you can grab ready-made scripts that you might need to do just a couple of tweaks. They'll have documentation around that. Of course, since it's by anybody in the broader community, there's the as-is warranty. In other words, if something goes wrong, you're on your own. But having said that, it is out under GitHub, and it's being released under the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology licensing around that for sharing. So very excited to see that. So really, this is where you can get access to scripts written by real experts in the field, you know, with an as-is, but of course, you know, they are being screened, commented on. So take a look at that. We'll have more on after the break around that. That's our first news story. Secondly, do you use Excel?
I do.
You do?
I do, yes.
I would imagine as a manager, Excel is an important tool.
Excel is an incredibly important tool for all of our reporting.
You know, I tell my my daughter, who's in high school, that her school, to my eternal shame, they use this other somebody, I can't even say the name. It'll burn my lips if I said it. They're docs. And I say, that's all cute and nice, but someday your kids, the kids you go to school with, are going to have to work in the real world and use a real spreadsheeting tool like Microsoft Excel. Well, if you're using Excel, folks out there, they have a great post out there on the Office blogs about visualizing statistics using histogram, Pareto and box, and the new Whisker charts. And so it walks you through some examples, showing you how-tos, tips and tricks around that. And finally, and here's Pareto, keep scrolling down, at the very end, man, they have so many. What do you think? They then have learning how to use them. So they actually have links to tutorials. So they walk through some great real-world examples of using histogram, Pareto, box, and Whisper. But then at the very end, they have links to training, which we all love. And you know what the training costs?
$100? $50?
50
It's not free.
It's
is
my
it?
favorite word. It's free.
Wow.
If you bought Excel, we want to reward you. So you can go there. And of course, if you have any questions around that and you want to find out more information around free Excel training, you can always Bing it by going to bing.com. And of course, we'll have links after the break to that as well. So be sure to check that out. The next post that we have is around integration with Office documents in iOS.
Interesting.
iOS. So for folks using iPads, iPhones, you know, we don't leave them out in the cold.
That's right.
We care. We want to, you know, our CEO Satya says we are a mobile first, cloud first company. And as part of that, we are providing great integration for those platforms. And so for iOS, we've actually extended just recently our integration with iOS, with Outlook. So some of the new things you're going to be able to do, look at how to open attachments right from Outlook in iOS, collaborating with an attachment in email. You could be in your iPad, click, boom, it will open it in place, allow you to then collaborate and work with it in place, and then check it back in without ever leaving. Send attachments using Outlook on iOS. And then they have some additional tips and tricks and questions. If you want to check that out, if you are using iPads, iOS, there's a lot happening on there. We're going to be having some examples of that coming up in some future segments. But check out this article. Definitely you want to get more productive in Outlook and iOS. Microsoft's opening the way for you, especially if you're in Office 365. So take a look. Again, Excel, external data for Mac users. So recently, Microsoft released Office for the Mac, Office 2016.
2016.
So if you have a Mac, first of all, I do want to say I'm sorry. But if you do have one, seriously, you know, aside from the fact that if you wanted, you could probably like install Windows over the top. But if you didn't, if you're using Office for Mac, your diehard Mac, again, we want to help you. So one of the issues that we've seen in the past is around grabbing external data into Excel. And so they tried to make that easy for folks. One of the things they didn't have access was native ODBC connectivity. You now have it on your Mac. And I love this because we've had this forever in Windows, and we still have it with more, but you know, if you're on a Mac now, we now have your ability to go in and manage your external data connections through workbook connections. We've had that forever in the Windows world with Excel. Now you've got it in the Mac, so you can get a listing of all your connections. You can go ahead, remove ones, you can click on ones, get in there and edit and do all kinds of goodies. It's all there for you. Check it out. You know, here you can see them walking through the experience on a Mac. And then they say, it's your turn at the end. Give it a try. And they have a link that you can even download a trial if you want to, you know, get your feet wet ahead of time. The next one, again, about Excel, this is just an Excel chock-filled last week, is helping business analysts take full advantage of Excel 2016 and the new Power BI. So if you've been around, you've seen how we're enabling all kinds of cool stuff with Power BI. But creating Power BI worksheets was a little not so clear. You did it through a web browser and some things. We now have, and I actually just downloaded and installed it today.
Wow.
The new Power BI desktop, not dashboard, desktop. And it is a tool designed for business users who know the data, who know what they want to present, but a drag and drop interface for creating these rich dashboards for Power BI and then publishing those out so folks can get to them through Office 365 on any device, be it Windows, be it iOS, be it Android.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Microsoft's enabling that across the board. Here is a great post on it I'll give you the links to it if you don't have the new dashboard or the new desktop, excuse me, Power BI desktop. You should have it. I just installed it. I can't wait to start playing today. You can too. We'll have more after the break on that. Last one on Excel. You know, one of the beauties of Office 365, Toby, is Microsoft, we're relentless. We are constantly going after new features and functions. In fact, when people subscribe to Office 365, they can expect new features every quarter. They don't have to wait 3 years, 4 years.
That's amazing.
It is.
And they don't have to download it, right?
They don't have to do nothing.
Right?
You got the app. I do, myself and some of the architects out of here, we do these Office Pro Plus deployment briefings for Office 365 customers. And one thing that amazes them, like, wait a minute, you mean I don't have to wait 3 years for the next version of Office? No! We're giving you new stuff every quarter. Post here on the latest and greatest things for Excel, and there is a ton. Streamlined data analysis, new forecasting capabilities, new and modern charts. So they've publishing and sharing in the new Power BI, taking advantage of Excel online, blah, blah, and it just goes on. Check it out. I'll have the post for you, the links to it. You're going to want to take a look. But again, every quarter we continue, and they just announced a whole bunch of new features. Last, and my favorite, because I cut my teeth with SharePoint back when it was called Tahoe for Microsoft many, many moons ago. I'm old, people. But they've announced the availability of SharePoint Server 2016 IT preview. So if you want to download and start messing around with SharePoint 2016 for on-premises today, you can do that. But even better yet, for folks that have Office 365 and have SharePoint 2013 on-premise environments, guess what else they've announced?
You will get it for 2016.
Well, but you'll also get dun, 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 cloud hybrid search availability. So as part of this whole preview, they're announcing they're releasing the cloud hybrid preview search. What this means is, folks, one of the things people want is one place, one-stop shop to do their search across their online and their on-premise.
Yep.
And they want to pull into stuff like Delve. Folks are like, oh, I love Delve. I want to use Delve. What do I do with it? But it doesn't touch any of my on-premise. Now you can. So the preview is out. You can start implementing it today. I'll have more information. We're going to have a deep dive into this. We're actually going to be pulling in some folks from corporate to talk about this, some of the experts back at the mothership. But here I have a link to the Microsoft Download Center around that. They also have a link directly to the now Cloud Hybrid Search Forum. So you can start interacting and talking directly to the corporate team around that, putting in your thoughts, your ideas, asking your questions. I'll have links to all that. And finally, also the link around the new Hybrid Resource Center that's around, so that you can get started implementing across the board. So that's it for news for today. We'll have links to all this. Check it out. Without further ado, we are going to get started with a discussion around job opportunities.
Opportunities.
Toby, why don't you once again introduce yourself and what your role is at Microsoft?
Sure. So thank you, Mike, for having me and hosting
my pleasure.
me today. My name is Tobi Toronto. I'm the store manager for the new Microsoft store, retail store going into our King of Prussia mall here in Pennsylvania.
Whoa, you mean just down the road?
Just down the road from where we are right now.
So I'm not gonna have to like get in and pack and arrange hotels. I can
Nope.
Local.
So we will be here locally. We currently have a store in the mall. It's a small format store, but King of Prussia, being one of the largest malls in the country, deserves a large Microsoft store.
Do you know it used to be it was the largest store in the continental U.S., and I believe
it will be again.
It will be again with this expansion.
Again. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Go big or go home, folks. That's all I'm saying.
That's correct.
And we're going to be there.
And we are going to be there. And what we do in the Microsoft store is very similar to what you just talked about here, is we are going to empower every person to get more out of their technology by transforming the way you purchase your Windows, PC, or mobile devices.
Yeah, but we're only going to show the Surface and Windows, Microsoft.
Absolutely not. It's
Whoa.
by transforming the Windows, PC, and mobile devices, as well as the services we provide, not only on our first-party products, but also on other products
like
running
Dell
our
and
like
others.
Dell and others, right? And
Molto
we
bene.
will also, you mentioned Mac as well. We will also help you with any Microsoft software that you have on your device, whatever
Really?
device that is. We will help you in the store.
That's great to know, because I know Stephen was relaying an experience this morning. Stephen, who Stephen works here,
Yes.
and he does have an iPhone, and he said what happened when you went into the Apple store the other day?
They said, we're not available. We cannot help you today.
You had to sign up ahead of time. They wouldn't just talk to you.
They said next Tuesday at 3 we can pencil you in.
No, they
Like a
did
week out.
not.
Yes.
Oh,
So he
no.
was upset. So you're saying, hey, look, when you know what, even if you have an iOS device or an Android,
We are still going to help you.
and you come in, you have questions around that Microsoft software, Office for it, and say, you're going to help them.
Yes, we are.
Wow, that's pretty
Yes,
nice.
we are.
So, but this store is going to open, the biggest mall in the country,
And we need people.
and you need people.
We need people.
Awesome.
So we need people. We have 3 roles that we're looking for.
Three.
3.
Not one.
Not one, 3. And we're looking for multiple applicants for each role.
All
So
right.
we have multiple jobs. The first role we are looking for is a services advisor. And our services advisor actually performs all of the services that we have in the store, which is to empower our customers and assist them with the technology they have and to get more out of the technology. So our services advisors do software troubleshooting,
Oh.
we do hardware repair. We also are there to assist customers whether they need new devices or not.
So that brings, because you just said they're troubleshooting and stuff. So that
Yeah.
brings to, a question
Go
that
ahead.
people have asked me. They're like, well, it's a store.
Yeah.
Just like Store X selling, shirts down the row. Yeah, it's just anybody, right?
No,
No,
not
you're-
at all. Not at all. So we are Microsoft, right?
Wait a minute. So the people applying for these 3 roles become what?
Microsoft employees. We are Microsoft.
You mean they
right?
get, they're getting this?
something similar
Something
to that.
similar to that?
yeah.
They're getting a badge that
They're
says
getting
Microsoft?
Something similar to that
And-
they have in the stores.
and
And
are
they
they-
are employees of Microsoft.
With,
So
like,
we
benefits?
We know Microsoft is an amazing company to work for,
Ooh.
has amazing benefits, and those who work in the store. And one of the things that we offer that sometimes we don't offer corporately is we offer part-time roles as well.
Okay.
Not only full-time, but also part-time. And you still get all the benefits that Microsoft has to offer.
So they become a Microsoft employee, they have benefits, but come on, it's a store, so they're making minimum wage.
No, they're not.
They're not?
No. We are competitive within the workforce, and we also look at the experience that
Because
people have.
these folks are not just, they're not just showing a shirt, they're troubleshooting,
No,
they're
we
technical.
we are the brand of Microsoft. So you get an opportunity to come here and showcase what Microsoft's all about. You get to come in the store and actually experience and talk to Microsoft.
So
That's who we
they
are.
really have to, they have to know their stuff.
Yes.
These are not just, oh, here's that, I think that looks cute on you.
No,
It's,
no.
oh, that laptop looks nice with you.
Yes.
It's, hey, how do you do this? I'm having trouble with this.
Right. So, and
Okay.
again, there's how many devices exist and how many people use them in so many different ways. So we absolutely help to train and develop our team in order to be able to service our customer.
Awesome.
So it's a great opportunity to grow skills, and it's a great opportunity to use skills that maybe you never even knew you had, right?
Excellent.
So the 2 other jobs that we are looking for is our product advisor. And our product advisor is the person who actually helps our customers determine what products and services work best for them based off of their needs, right?
I like
so
that.
we are trying to help the world achieve more with technology.
Yep.
So we need to know what they want to do, and we're here to showcase
So-
what they can do.
So
and what
let
the
me
devices.
ask this.
Go ahead.
I have to get I like to get my little digs in once in a while. But there's another store
Yes.
in many of these, and you go in and you say, "Oh, well, but I like to do here," and because they have one of this, and because every problem has the same answer. It's this pad, it's this phone, it's that.
Yes.
But with our ecosystem of all these devices, you guys are looking at, and this is what I do when I have relatives. They always, Mike, I'm going to get a new computer. What should I get? I'm like, well, What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
Because really, Microsoft is about choice and about tailoring the experience based on your needs as an individual.
Correct.
We're not all.
We are all about value, choice, and service, and so you get
And
to
that
choose
person has
that.
to know that, and they have to know they have to know their stuff, because they're getting. I do business requirements with customers. They're getting their use case requirements
That's absolutely correct.
and matching it.
And that's what we do. And so those sales associates are not just selling product, they're demonstrating how the product works. They're giving personal training workshops on how to get the most out of their
Oh, wow.
product. And they're also, once somebody does make a purchase, they're helping people discover what to do more than what they thought they would do with the product.
So again, these are people. They're not. This isn't. Oh, that's a cute shirt on you.
Not at all.
Let me help
Not
you ring
at all.
out. They're really. These are folks. If folks who are interested in devices and love Windows and all this stuff, this is a great opportunity for them to hone their skills and to really. I mean, this is a job that takes advantage of all that.
It does, and it requires a lot. It requires you to use your mind and to actually help people discover how to use technology in ways that maybe you don't even know how to use it yet because you have a different need than somebody else would. So it really
Awesome.
opens up a huge opportunity, and that's why I love what I do.
So
right?
far we've had the services advisors,
And the product advisor.
product.
And then as we receive our merchandise and as we actually ship maybe damaged things out, we do need inventory control experts who actually not only maintain our inventory, but they also do shipping and receiving for us. But
Okay.
they also are customer facing, and they are there, as we all are, to help customers realize how to get the most out of their technology.
So really, in all three of these roles, we're talking about people who are going to be customer facing.
Correct.
So interacting with the public, really being experts in the Microsoft ecosystem, in how, going back to your earlier point, how we can really change lives, right? Change the way people live, work, collaborate, and all that. So the things that they're doing here cross the span between the personal and professional life.
Correct.
And how do we bring and light up the devices and experiences that are going to enable those new ways of working, interacting, entertaining, etc.
Right, and we are giving the world an avenue to connect with Microsoft beyond having to step into a center.
So
like
now that
this.
I want to leave my job and come
Yes,
work there.
you
So
wanna come work with
let's
me.
say I want to come work there.
So we would ask that you go to Microsoft stores.
So actually,
You
I have
got
a
it?
picture.
All right,
Let's
there you
pull up
go.
this picture. Can I go full screen with this?
So Microsoft stores,
So you want to bring that full screen, Stephen?
what is that?
So we're
Microsoft
looking at
Store
your
Jobs.
stool. This is what right now, if people walk by, this is what they'll see.
That is exactly what they will see. And we are absolutely
field
cannot
trip
wait. There you go.
Coming up now.
And if you would please just go onto our link, you can apply at any of those jobs that we have. Okay.
Okay, and that's
Or
again, that's
MicrosoftStoreJobs.
MicrosoftStoreJobs.com.
MicrosoftStoreJobs.com. Or if it's okay with you, I would ask you to put a plug in. So if somebody
Yeah.
gets in touch with you, then you can forward their information to
No.
me, and I'd be happy to reach out to them.
Absolutely, yeah. So if anybody pings me, don't email me. I get 300 to 400 a day. You can come back, Stephen. I'm always telling people, if you do email me, if I don't hear in 24 hours, hit resend. Won't bother me. But that's just. But if you ping me on social media, this is probably why customers ping me on social
There
media.
you go. They go 'cause you'll
I'll be
respond.
happy to forward that on. But definitely go to MicrosoftStoreJobs.com. You'll find the listings there. King of Prussia Mall.
King of Prussia Mall.
Great opportunity. I mean, not just for recent college grads, but folks who really have a passion for devices and experiences and the
And
whole
learning.
and learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be learning, they're going to be interacting. I mean, once you're a Microsoft employee with full benefits, then you're somebody who can then look, for other cross training opportunities and things
yeah.
down the road.
And again, people ask that all the time, and I would tell you that while you're applying for the stores, we have a job to do, but you learn skills, and you can also take skills that you may come with and find other opportunities at Microsoft as well.
I've known a couple of folks down in the DC area who work down there out of one of the stores, and they worked there for 2 years and did all this kind of interaction, and were learning and cross-training and attended, expressed an interest, and they became technology specialists with our SMSMP group,
right.
Going out with small business, because that directly translated.
And I would tell you, we have a mission from our CEO, Satya, and if we are here to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, we need people to help us do that, right?
Yes.
So thank you for
And
hosting.
I think this is awesome. We're going to be doing a lot once the store opens. We're very excited here in this area about that, and the MTC certainly looking forward to interacting. I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
MicrosoftStoreJobs.com. Tobi
Toronto.
She's
Can't
awesome
forget
lady.
that.
She could be your manager.
Thank you
saying.
very, very much.
So thank you.
It. All
so
right.
Stephen, you want to transition us so Tobi can go?
All right.
And we'll see you later.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Tobi. I'm back. Oh, and I'm knocking things over. Hey. So again, MicrosoftStoreJobs.com. Check it out. But now we're on to Windows privacy. So I know a lot of folks I've been seeing on, there's been a number of news channels, I'll just put that with quotation marks, that have been commenting about Microsoft's Windows 10 and privacy and stirring up fears that really there's nothing there. So we're going to talk about that today. But first, what I thought I would do is I'm going to open up with an article by Ed Bott. And if you're not familiar with Ed Bott, you should be. He's on ZDNet. And Ed Bott is, if you want to talk about it right, he covers Microsoft, but he's really that impartial third party. He will dig us. He'll put a dig on us as quick as he's going to praise us. But he's going to give you really the lowdown on what it means. And it opens up, he says, no, Microsoft is not spying on you with Windows 10. The subtitle is, the Windows 10 Privacy Agreement doesn't mean Microsoft is secretly stealing the data from your hard disk. Where do people come up with these crazy ideas? So Ed goes on in his article, and I'm not going to stay on this. I have some other direct resources that we're going to provide you that I'm going to be referring to. First of all, I forgot to mention, I did want to say we were supposed to have Todd Furst, who is our architect covering Windows here, was going to cover this today. So I know some of you tuned in to see Todd. You'll notice Todd is not here. Todd had a family emergency where he's had to fly out to Oregon to be with his father. So our prayers and thoughts are with Todd today. Certainly he was very apologetic, and I'm like, dude, what are you worried about? That comes first. So at Microsoft, family comes first. Todd is with his family now, and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. But Windows 10. So what he opens up here, and I gotta say I love this. He said, "Buy tinfoil futures." I'm dead serious. There is apparently a growing and very vocal population of people who believe that Windows 10 is basically a 1984 telescreen come to life. And by 1984, George Orwell's 1984. They are convinced that with Windows 10, Microsoft has built a spying apparatus not seen since the height of the Cold War, scraping up every detail of your life and feeding it back to Redmond for who knows what nefarious purposes. And then he says they're going to need lots of tinfoil. Then he goes on to say why. So a lot of it comes back to the privacy agreement and things that Microsoft says in there, and then what the reality is. And the reality is this: a lot of news orgs have been pointing out that it says that we may collect data and information, and yes, we may. I'm going to talk about what we collect, where we collect it, how we collect it, what your options are, because you don't have to let us collect it. It all depends on what you want to do. But the first thing I do want to point out is this, and I have a question to ask. I would prefer that everybody use Bing as their search engine. But you know, I'm a realist, and I know many people don't. So my first question to you is this. How many of you use another search engine, beginning with, oh, I don't know, a letter that comes after F? Thank you. I'm starting to count on my fingers and toes. That comes after F. If you do, why are you getting all excited about this? Because the amount of information we're going to gather from you and what it's actually used for and who has access to it, if you're already using that search engine, you're so far beyond anything we're doing or going to do, it's not even funny. So, you know, first of all, then you're probably already doing things. If you're using a mobile phone, if you're using, oh, I don't know, a fruit phone or one of those robot phones, you're being tracked on everything you do. They're watching where you go, where you travel, what you look up, apps that you're using, what the apps are accessing, and they're capturing all that information for ads and sales data. So think about it. But let's get into, first of all, I want to start off with Microsoft's privacy statement. I'm going to provide a link to this. You can see it was last updated in July. So this is the most recent of all of our privacy statements. I'm not going to go through all of it. We'd be here for a day and a half, but I'll provide a link to it. But a quick highlight. First of all, it does say that Microsoft collects data to operate effectively and provide the best experiences with our services. You provide some of this data directly, such as when you create a Microsoft account, submit a search query to Bing, speak a voice command to Cortana, upload a document to OneDrive, or contact us for support. We get some of it by recording how you interact with our service. For example, using technologies like cookies, and receiving error reports or usage data from software running on your device. And then it goes on. We also obtain data from third-party companies where you may have stuff installed. And it goes on and on. It actually expands. You can click Learn More. You get all kinds of stuff. But then it gets into what, when, where, and where that data and what it looks like. The net of it is, though, is this. Many of the services it talks about are voluntary. They're things that we will prompt you and we will tell you about. We also don't fully collect everything and associate for example, when we do the reports that are doing telemetry type data and stuff around, you know, system errors, etc. We only collect the data that we need. And again, you have the option to share that at that time or not. That's up to you. Also, things like Cortana, which we're going to get into. You turn those features on or off. You select what interests you want to use, and you can turn the whole thing off and not have it do any of that. If you want it to have geolocation data, you have to explicitly accept and turn that on. Or if you have, you can go back and turn it off. And again, we're going to get into some of that here, how you can do all those things. So that's first of all. We do collect data, but I will call mine to this. In fact, this is in that same Ed Bott, and I want to go down because he was kind enough to do this. He said, the terms of use are completely unremarkable if you go into them. He said, any company that offers modern computing services has nearly identical language in its privacy agreement. So he then gives snippets from the Google, Apple, and Microsoft policy statements. So he's doing that there. I'm not going to copy their statements and post them. He provides it here. I'll give you a link to his article. You can take a look. But it's interesting because, again, you'll note they sound very much similar. It said, and then he says it is certainly true that Windows 10 relies on online services to a greater degree than previous releases. That's the way of the world, especially one in which 1 billion people carry around devices that track their every movement around the world. We want personalized services. We expect relevant search results. We expect devices to get smarter and more useful over time. And then he points out to do that, certain things need to be captured. But that ours is much like and he said, you know, he goes on to see there's nothing around it being Big Brother-like. So what does that mean in terms of Windows 10? Well, first of all, what are the types of information? And again, if you have, the other thing, if you have questions as we're going, please post them. You can post them in the Yammer feed below. If you're not on it, you can email me at mgann@microsoft.com. I don't see anything out on that yet. So mgann, MGANN at Microsoft.com. I'll add you to the group, but you can certainly post your questions. So let's start off with some of the Windows 10, an overview around privacy. How we collect information to make things better. So certainly, as you're using different features, like Bing, for example, you go onto your computer, you're using Bing. That's an online service. So much like any search engine, when you're logged in as your user ID, we'll know things that you're doing and can track and do that and take a look at it. But certainly, you can also clear that history server side, and I'll show you some resources. So we do track those things, but we don't, unlike some others, we don't necessarily sell that stuff. And so we're going to get into that as well. Whereas others compile that data and sell it to advertisers. So we do collect information about you as you're doing things. Much of it, though, is collected desktop here and maintained here locally, Windows 10, to help tailor your experiences. It says you are in control of information with the ability to determine what is collected. So we say we built Windows 10 so you can tailor your experience and your privacy features and settings simply at any time. Windows 10 puts you in control by giving you choices about how information is used to deliver personalized services and experiences. Again, it's all about personalizing your services. If you don't want to personalize them, you can turn all that off and lock down that experience. I will tell you, Windows 10 is it's on more than 75 million desktops already, and we have enterprises actively rolling it out. And this has not been an issue within the enterprise space because they know they can control all of it, and you can too. Some Windows 10 settings, like Cortana, are turned off by default. And I'll show you, there are a bunch of those that are off. To use Cortana, you turn Cortana on for each Windows 10 device. And you have additional privacy settings once turned on. So then this same link that we're going to give you walks through upgrading or installing 10. It shows you how, once you get going fast, one of the first things you're brought up with is you can say you want the Express or custom settings. So use custom. If you do so, why don't you go full screen, Stephen? You're going to get greeted with this. Customize setting. Here you can see it allows you to turn on or off personalization, send typing and inking data to improve recognition and suggested platform. You can turn it off. Let apps use your advertising ID for experiences so it can improve the experiences across all apps. You can turn that on or off. Location, on or off. Again, you can come on back. It's about your choice, you customizing that. So absolutely select Customize instead of Express, and you'll be able to start right off the bat doing that. Location services, we mentioned that. Internet browsing and protection. So we have a new browser, Microsoft Edge, that does things like page prediction, smart screen filters. Well, you know what? Again, you can turn that stuff on or off. We have error and diagnostic reporting. And at any time, if you want to come back to any of this, you can go in. Say hello real quick. I gave a shout out. So say who you are.
I'm a mystery.
He's a mystery. So a mystery was here. We'll say goodbye. We had a guest sitting in our audience. We just headed on out. Customizing settings. And you can go in at any time, go to settings. In fact, if Cortana's on, you can say, Cortana, settings, and have her bring it up. But go into the privacy settings. So I'm going to bring that up full screen. And real quickly, let's go to our all settings. Are we full screen? Yes. And click on privacy. And oh, what do we have here? Privacy, here's our general privacy settings. Location privacy settings. Camera privacy settings. Microphone privacy settings. Speech, ink, and typing. Account info. Contacts. Calendaring. Messaging. Radios. Other devices. Feedback and diagnostic. Broad background apps. It's all there for you to turn on or off. We want to give you full control so that you, the user, are in charge. That's important. You are in charge. You can turn anything on or off. If you go to use things for the first time, it will prompt you, do you want to allow? But you can always go back at any time. So if you're concerned, if you've installed, you can come on back, if you've installed Windows 10 for the first time onto your computer and you are concerned, simply come down. Actually, go. Are you on full screen? I'm sorry. Go back. Yeah, back to full screen. So simply come on back here, right? Oops, let me close it. Come on back down. Go and click on. Close out reminders. Yeah. There we go. Click on all settings. Click on privacy. And then you can go through piece by piece. We have explanations, there's links, learn more about location settings. So each one of these you can take your time and allow that. Now, choose apps that can use your location. I don't have the apps connector using my location. Across them, I do have Cortana. I enabled that in Cortana. We'll show you more about Cortana. I have mail and calendar, but I have all these other ones off because I don't want to provide them. Windows Maps, well, yeah, I have that on. But again, you have the ability to turn things on or off. Very granular. You can do that. Again, simply go down here, all settings, privacy, and start walking and talking. Come out of full screen, Stephen. So that's the first bit. With Windows, you have full control. Again, read the statements closely. We're not doing anything different than the others, but we are going to provide you a much more granular means of turning things off than the others will. So take a look at that. Next, I'm going to provide you a link after the fact. Again, if Todd was here, he'd be talking much more eloquently and in depth. But here there is a page that has an overview and links to a whole bunch of specifics. So for example, I showed you quickly at a highlight the overview one. But there is a link to the Windows 10 camera and privacy FAQ. If we click on that, and we can go full screen, Stephen. I'm going to go back and forth here. If you click there, then you're going to be brought to this page, and it's going to have things like, how do I know when the camera is turned on? It's going to tell you. How do I know when a camera setting is on or off? And walk you through each one of these. If you are worried that the government is watching you through the camera here, we're going to provide that ability for you to control all that. So coming on back, Cortana search and privacy. I already have that open. A lot of, consternation, people posting, trying to get people all excited to, that way they'll go and click and show that link and share it on others. They're using this thing as link baiting when they do a lot of this. But having said that, when I use Cortana, what information is collected and where is it saved? And it tells you here. How do I turn Cortana off? Go to Cortana, Notebook, and settings. You can turn Cortana completely off. Or you can change the settings. So for example, I'm going to click here in Cortana, right? Let's go up here. Here's our notebook. So I can come right into here, and now once it's here, I can change the settings on tips, any of these things, right? What I want to allow or not allow. Maybe I don't want travel to do things around notifications, flights, trip plans, etc. I can turn it off. Or I can come right here into settings, and I can turn off things like alerts, manage what Cortana knows, etc. Voice, find flights, Bing settings, other privacy settings. I have all that right here. We can also, change reminders and feedback, etc. What do we want to provide? We can send feedback, but it's all there, right there for me, simply by going to Cortana, Notebook, connected accounts, what are connected, what's not, about me, change my name, edits, favorites. All of it's here for the taking, for editing, etc. So there we are. Next, how do I manage information Cortana enables around me? Can I clear what Cortana knows about me? Yes, you can. You can clear individual items or clear it all. And we have that here as well. So, can I control what data it collects? Yes, again, settings around that. All that's available. We don't want you, the customer, you can come on back, to feel uncomfortable, to feel like you're being watched. As much as you want to tailor and enable that experience, we're going to do that for you where you'd like. I happen to have most of it turned on for me because I use all this stuff. In the morning it tells me based upon my commute and my start time, my first meeting, etc. I know when I got to leave the office, what I got to do to get there. You can too, but if you don't want, you don't have to turn that on. Windows 10 feedback, diagnostics, and privacy. Again, information around that. What feedback frequency options can you control? What other options do you have around sending feedback? How do you go ahead and change that? How do I change feedback? Right? Your options around that. What do the different diagnostic and usage data options mean? And we'll tell you, right? So again, you can control that experience. Who sees the data collection? We don't just give it out. We don't sell the data. We don't do any of that. So again, check it out, learn more here. Microsoft Edge and privacy. So again, Microsoft Edge, the browser, you can come in here. We have, can I clear browsing history and other information? Clear the data that's sent to Microsoft when I use Edge with Cortana. Yes! And here you go. Here's how you can clear all that data, right? I don't want Microsoft Edge to remember passwords, etc. How do I turn it off? Here's, again, granular control. It's off by default, but if you want to go ahead, if you've turned it on, you can always go back. Ink and privacy, Microsoft Hello, Wi-Fi Sense, it's all here. Check it out. We want to enable you to customize that experience. We want you to have a great experience, but we don't want you to feel intruded on. Now again, I have most of it on for me. I trust Microsoft. I work here. If you look at data breaches and what's been going on and how Microsoft takes security uber seriously, we are heads and tails above our competitors as far as our security in the cloud especially, and what we're doing with that data. I use it, but again, you can control that, and we want you to feel secure. We want you to feel comfortable with what is happening and what people are doing there. So, take a look, check it out. And that's that on that security piece. I'm just looking to see if we have any questions. I'm not seeing any questions, folks. If you'd like to ask them, again, you can do it below in the Yammer feed. If you're not part of Yammer, you can be. Simply send a request. But I'm looking here, I'm not seeing any. Stephen, do you have any questions while we wait?
You were pretty thorough today.
Well, we're going to go through, like I said, I am going to post online all the various links that I had that I was citing to give you access to those, including, at Bott. So, don't just take our word for it. Hey, check out somebody who's not a Microsoft employee and walks through. He's much harsher on his indictment of those. He even goes after his own news organization for some of their posts. But again, we're going to provide you all this, reasons we share data, how you can control access, cookies, etc., your account, other privacy information. Check it out. Don't believe me, but again, if you've been using a smartphone for the last couple of years, you've already given up more of that personal information, and you probably haven't even thought about it. Next time you go and you add an app to your phone, right? Check out the fine print. Read it. They have stuff there around privacy. Is it asking for location information? Does it say it's going to publish information for ad, right? That's sold to advertisers or to target ads. Chances are it is. So you've already been doing a lot of this. We're going to give you the option to turn all that off here. You don't have to have that. Again, we have many enterprises rolling out Windows 10 to the enterprise. They're very comfortable, and the reason is because they know they can, by policy, turn this stuff off, lock it down, not allow users, but you, the user at home, have the same options to go in and control your experience across all your devices. And that's ultimately what Microsoft is about. We want to be a cloud-first, mobile-first company that lights up experiences tailored to you across everything, but allow you, the user, on a personal note, to be able to go in and tailor your experience to lock down and secure your information and what you're sharing and what you're not in the way you most see fit. And that's it. Yeah, I'll keep checking, but if I don't have questions, a couple of announcements. Today, I will, once I complete some mandatory training that I am behind on, evidently, I'm behind on one. I thought I'd completed, evidently it's in process. I'd gotten through half of it, and then I got called to do something else, so I have to jump in. Once I've done that, I'm going to be posting today our schedule of events for the next 2 months. We have a lot coming up. When Todd returns, he's going to be doing some Windows 10 deep dives on Fridays, getting into security, Windows 10 security, and other things with his new segment on mobility. We're going to have this month in mobility. We're going to be having this month in data. We have a great event scheduled already around that. We have some ones around education and others. Midday Cafe, I have a whole bunch of segments, but we have 2 months worth of booking that are going to come online. I do invite you, if I haven't already, let me quickly open on my desktop a couple of events that I will be at. First of all, dun, 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 the Tech Leaders Forum. You can go full screen with this, Stephen. So I posted this out to Philly MTC in a blog post. You can check it out. But I will be presenting as part of the Tech Leaders Forum. September 29th, I'll be down in Richmond, Virginia, presenting at the Westin Richmond. And we're going to, you can see the agenda, we're going to have, after registration and breakfast at 9 o'clock, kicking off with empowering the intelligent enterprise, building the intelligent cloud platform, unlocking business insights, reinventing productivity and business processes, featuring Office 2016. That will be yours truly speaking on that. We'll have lunch and then a productivity demo. Then we'll have Ignite Sales, Growth Through IT, Creating More Personal Computing, featuring Windows 10. We're going to have some customer success stories, closing remarks, and then a networking hour where we're going to hang out and we're going to have drinks. So hope to see you there. I posted a link to this if you want to register, if you're in the Richmond area, surrounding areas, and you would like to attend. Great event, empowering the intelligent enterprise, part of the Tech Leaders Forum, and I will be one of the presenters, the rest, for the most part, coming from Redmond. So I get to rub elbows with a couple of our corporate presenters. So that is coming. Also, if you have not seen, let me quickly go. I have 1 minute left. Actually, I don't have to worry about getting cut off. We're going to go very quickly out to, where am I going? Oh, to the MTC site. And let's see. I believe I have a link. Upcoming webcasts. No, that's for August. That's not what I wanted. I don't know if I've posted. Yeah, I have posted this. This would be. Thank you. Under the events tab. Boy, that it would. You know, I built the website and I don't even remember. Now let's go out to the September. Did I post it? I did not post it here. I need to post that. Holy guacamole! So, just to throw this out there, I will post this later. There is a webcast coming up in September. It is this Thursday. I'm presenting on a national webcast. Actually, I'm going to go out. I know where there is a link to this. Let's go to here. And where did I post that link? The MTC Studios. Oh, heck. Let's just do this. Make it easier. Microsoft. MTC. Boom. Technology. Here we go. And after that, MTC Studio Events. And if we scroll down, oh, they don't have it here. Yeah, here it is, September 3rd. So September 3rd, I'll have a link to this. There is a link. You can Bing it. I'm going to be presenting Reinventing Productivity, Bring Your Office to the Cloud. The what? They moved it to the 4th. No, they moved the other event. That's Teo's event to the 4th. I'm still the 3rd. So I'll be on this 3rd. You'll be able to see me. There's a sign up. Hope to see you there. We had, last one, we had like 800 people, which was very cool. Attend. So look forward to seeing you all there. That's it. I'm actually running a little late, I see. So we're going to close up. But I do want to invite you to those upcoming events this Thursday. I'll post a link to that, to our Philly MTC site right after this. And then I'll be having all of our events for the next 2 months, so be sure to tune in. Also, if you have, just in case you have forgotten already, if you want to apply for a job with the new Microsoft Store, again, these are not minimum wage. This is not just your typical retail. These are Microsoft employee jobs with Microsoft benefits, with a Microsoft badge. You are in, you are making good money, interacting with and getting your hands on the latest and greatest in Microsoft technology. They are hiring now, so they're looking for tech folks who are good customer-facing folks. Go to Microsoft Store Jobs, one word, MicrosoftStoreJobs.com, and you can apply today, or hit me up online on Facebook, Twitter, etc. With that, Mike Gannotti here at the Philly MTC for MTC Studios, bidding you have a great day. Take care, and as always, ciao.